Hi, this is Brian with Paradise Arcade Shop. I just wanted to go over some of the exciting new products that we have with the new crown line that's come in. There's been a lot of questions and discussion both on the forums and in emails, and so I wanted to kind of go over a few things and give people some information on these sticks and the new things coming along with them. Now, a typical crown stick comes with a shaft that does not have adjustment or does not have the ability to remove and add ball tops or bat tops. If you look at a typical crown shaft, it looks like this if you take it out. So these shafts have a fixed bat top or ball top. The other styles have ball tops. Both shafts are actually identical in these two. It's just the top that's on them. The new crown sticks that everybody seems to be excited about are the 303FKs that come with the ability, or come with a Sanwa style mounting plate. As you can see here, we have two crown sticks modified with our new hollow shafts with a Sanwa stick down the end, and the mounting plates are the same. This allows you to swap them out into your joysticks easily. Now, the thing that a lot of people ask about on the crown sticks is how to adjust the ball tops or bat tops. And these new shafts, hollow shafts, allow for that. We've been doing hollow shafts for about 3 or 4 years now, almost since the start of the company. And we have them for the JLFs, JLWs, Seimitsu LS32s, IL sticks, as well as a number of other sticks. We're constantly adding on hollow shafts for various sticks. We just think it's really fun to LED mod, and some of the classic guys actually use the hollow shafts to do top fire joysticks. So let's go over we have 4 sticks on the table here, and so why do we have 4 sticks instead of just 1 stick as a solution? Well, we thought that there were a couple important things that we wanted to preserve and encourage with the crowns. One, a crown stick is designed a specific way for a reason. The ball top is put at a specific distance off the plate, and the bat top is put at a specific distance off the plate for a reason. That's how they were designed. That's how some of the guys who like the Korean sticks like to play them. This height is different than a Sanwa stick. So if we look at a Sanwa stick here and we look at a traditional crown height, it's slightly higher than the crown. And so, or the crown is slightly higher than the JLF. So what this does is the higher you are from a pivot point, the longer your throw. So the angle of deflection is the same, but the actual distance that the ball on top will move is going to be greater because of the angle in the pivot point and the distance from the pivot point. Now, we wanted to preserve this, so we made a set of shafts that you'll see here in a 6mm and a 10mm size that preserve the original length of the crown stick. So if you were to install these, your bat top or your ball top would be at exactly the height that a crown bat top or ball top would be. And we did this because we thought a lot of players want variation in bat tops, say they want to install our new aluminum tops or something else, but they do want to maintain the design of the crown stick. However, there are a lot of people who really like the JLF. It's a very popular stick, and want to have that same height and feeling around their joystick. They just want the different feel of the rubber grommet and actuation inside the crown stick. So for these people, we made a Jlf Height Stick. Now what this is we shorten the stick just slightly. The key dimension that we held here has nothing to do with the overall length of the stick. Well, that changed. What's important here is the height from this plate up to the threading. So if we measure this height, we take our calipers here, on our shaft from the mounting plate is going to be approximately 32 millimeters, 31.9. If I go and measure a standard JLF, it is approximately 31.9, 32. So we're within about 0.1 millimeters of the height of the shaft. What this does is if you install the crown stick in your joystick as a replacement for your JLF, your ball top is going to be at exactly the same height as your JLF. Now let's discuss some of the other features of the crown sticks that I think are important, and some of the differences with the JLF that I think are key here. A lot of people like the new accessories like the aluminum bat tops and ball tops that we have for the JLF. So you can see standard JLF shaft cover fits right over it. This is our pink anodized custom Paradise brand. And these fit right over the shaft. They come just short of the threads, as you can see. Now if we put this on a crown stick, it's quite different. You'll see it falls down. That's because the pivot point, or the actuation point, where the crown stick is held, is actually deeper down in the stick. Another key thing to note is that this circle here on a crown stick actually provides some surface for the stick to ride around. It provides some restriction. So if you slide a shaft cover over, you actually interfere with that surface there and you don't get actuation. So standard JLF shaft covers are not usable on a JLF length shaft. The reason for this just happens to be all of the different parameters that go into the height and everything else here. The actual shaft cover on a true JLF sits below the surface. So if you look at this, it actually goes below the surface of the mounting plate. You can't do that here because that will interfere with the restriction on the joystick. Another key difference here, or key point to make about these, is the 10mm and the 6mm sizing. So 10mm sizing is standard for bat tops, and actually a lot of the new aluminum tops, whether they're balls or bats, take a 10mm threading, whereas a traditional joystick takes a 6mm threading. Now the reason this is significant for a hollow shaft is people who do LED mods are used to doing LEDs in either RGB or single color. Well, the single color RGBs, or single color LEDs, sorry, are like this, and they're single color. They don't change colors. You can get ones that are 3mm that will cycle through the colors, but you don't have color control. These LEDs, which are 50 cents on our website, can be installed into a standard 3mm shaft this easily. You take the wires, you push them down in the shaft, they come out the bottom, you pull, and the LED mounts down into the joystick. Usually we like to push from the top, and you're done. That is installed in a joystick. Now you have an LED joystick that you can put into a ball top. Now, for the 6mm, for the 5mm LED, this does have RGB control. You'll notice there's 4 wires coming off here. These you can put into our standard 10mm threaded joystick shafts. This is why we have multiple varieties of shafts, so people can do a wide variety of things. So this one takes a little bit more finessing, and you got to remember, on these LEDs, the resistors are not included. On our standard 3mm LEDs, the resistors are included in there for 5 volts. So there you can see a 5mm LED installed into a 10mm threaded shaft. That's why we'd offer both of these shafts, in addition to the ability for them to be fastened into bat tops and ball tops. You have to remember though, that any 6mm, there's a lot of threaded inserts that allow you to put 10mm threading onto here. So the uniqueness of the 10mm shaft is that it allows for RGB mods. Now, one other thing that I wanted to point out with the joysticks is the ease of changing off the washers or changing out the shafts, and how this is done. So let's take our stick here. We're going to pop our LED out of here. So if you look, there's a C-clip or an E-clip on the bottom. And that's what retains the shaft. Now, most joysticks are done about the same way. What I like to do is I like to put my thumb over the actuator on the bottom. You can take either a pair of pliers or a screwdriver, and you just work the clip off. Sometimes it's more elegant than others. I tend to like to use pliers because I feel like I have more control. Some people like to get in there with a screwdriver because they feel like they're smaller. But with pliers, a lot of times you can grab the clip. When you grab the clip, you slide the shaft out. So keeping your finger on the actuator, that's key. So if you look there, my finger's holding that in place. Now I can grab any standard shaft, slide it in, and everything is kept in the same place that it was. So it makes it much easier to change your joystick shaft. I slide the E-clip just into place. Remember, I said I like to use pliers. Makes this whole process easier. Just squeeze the E-clip back on there, and you're good to go. So that's a standard shaft change, just a couple of seconds. Now we have a 10mm thread up here. One quick thing I'll leave people with, we are working on a modification that allows for people to place the standard shaft covers down on this shaft. Now, one thing to note here is you've got to hollow out the center of these if you want to put our standard shaft covers onto a 10mm threaded top, or you've got to install them before you put the shaft in. The 10mm threading at the top is slightly bigger by about 20 thousandths or 30 thousandths than the actual shaft itself. The reason for this is that a standard JLF shaft is just under 10mm to allow for a number of different accessories to be used. But you can still go ahead and screw your standard ball tops on here, and you're good to go play. So any questions, just email us. You can get us at sales@paradisearcadeshop.com or brian@paradisearcadeshop.com. Thanks for watching the video. Hope to see a lot of you at EVO, and check out our Lucky Sevens deal for the next week. We'll be posting a code on Friday that will give people Korean shafts for $7. Thanks and have a good night.